We're here at Kamano Composites Factory with Luke Evslin, back from the near dead. But he looks good, look at that. Fully walking. I walked in here today and he's like, you wouldn't even be able to tell. But maybe from your perspective, tell us what happened. Like what happened with the accident.
So when I got run over by our escort boat, sort of a freak incident during the channel on the first change, and it's sort of a long, involved story, but basically opened up my back. The prop hit me 5 times, and.
But how did that happen then? Because you jumped off and they said a wake hit the boat or something, or? Yeah,
I don't know. I jumped off, and there was our canoe and Strong's second crew was actually bearing right down on us, so they were close to us. So in order for our boat to get out of the way, he put it in gear to sort of get out of the way before those guys, came too close. And I had just jumped in, so I felt the boat kind of hit me from behind, and then I felt the prop, hitting my back, like in slow motion, sort of like,
So did you jump too close to the boat or something, or what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I jumped without really thinking. I've done a ton of change races in my life, and I was a stroker, so I was the last to jump in. So since we were sitting idle, my 2 teammates were in the water, and there wasn't a whole lot of room to jump out. So I just jumped next to them, but I, jumped feet first, so I went under, and then I think on the up, I could feel the boat hit me from behind.
Did you know what part hit you?
Yeah, I knew. Oh, I don't know what part of the boat hit me, but I could feel it flatten me. I knew I was under the boat, and then I knew as soon as the prop actually hit.
So you didn't feel yourself get cut; you just felt the boat run over you.
No, I felt both. I felt because it hit me first, it flattened me, and then the prop went through me. So I felt both. And I felt the prop, and knowing, that it was exactly what was happening, and then, from there, sort of reached around and felt the damage when I was underwater, and knew something was totally wrong, and my whole body sort of went like that.
So did you feel like you got cut in half?
Yeah, that was the initial thought, especially because my body twisted in a weird way, because all of a sudden my side was sort of opened up, so it allowed me to sort of twist like this, and then swam to the surface, and just started screaming for help.
So you could still move and talk and everything?
Yeah, and I remember swimming to the surface, when you see the light above you and you're trying to get to the light. So I got there and screamed, and my 2 teammates who were in the water with me, waiting for the change, held me. And then the escort boat, he said he knew exactly what happened too. He felt it, and knew that there's only one thing in the world that could cause that, So he zoomed back around quickly and got me back in the boat. And
how did they pull you into the boat then? They just yanked you?
No, I remember sort of there was no way I was there thinking, how am I going to do this? And my total upper body is basically got right.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember sort of climbing and I think getting my left leg up there. And my left leg from the beginning has been totally fine. Just sort of somehow got up, and I think that they pulled me sort of over the ledge and they dropped me flat in the back of the boat. And then. So
you rode back on your back or on your stomach?
On my stomach, lying down in front. Luckily there was paramedics right there. And they called for a medic, I think, as soon as they hit me, basically. So they got to us really quickly. It felt like within 5 minutes. And my teammates, as soon as I got in the boat, they basically jumped on me to apply pressure because I was bleeding a lot. But the paramedics got on quickly, and they tied rigging rope around me and some trauma bandages. And then we took us about an hour to get back to Honolulu. And we got there and had to wait about 45 minutes for the helicopter. And anyway, so they were treating me there. There were some paramedics from the Molokai Fire Department.
I heard that you broke your hip too or something.
So it ended up, in the overall damage, is that it? Well, it hit me low down. It hit me here.
Whoa.
And then it hit me here, and this broke my pelvis. Took my pelvis sort of and broke it like a chicken bone, they say. And
so the blade broke your pelvis, not the guy sitting on you.
The blade broke my pelvis, yeah. Which is unusual for a pelvis break. They can see where it chipped it and where it pulled it up in.
Oh man!
And then this severed my gluteal muscles. So between these, there's a cut down here. Between these two, there's a big sort of dent right here, where my gluteal used to be, and it's coming back.
So you you seem like you can walk okay.
So I can actually. So it's severed. I guess it's like an 80% severed. So it was there, and they sewed the rest back together. So initially, I had sort of no abductor control or back,
Huh.
you know. So it took 2 weeks sort of for me to even have a glimmer of it. And for that whole 2 weeks thinking...
That's
that
kind
it
of
might
quick
not
though
come
when you
back.
think about it.
Yeah, you know, and I think it was probably there because there was still a connection there. And they said they could feel it, you know, firing, you know, within a couple of weeks. So they knew that something was, you know, the nerves were there.
So what was the damage then? When the thing hit you, what...
Well,
Because, I mean, you look at it, you go, dang, I can't believe the thing didn't cut your spine or something.
Yeah, so it went across, I believe this one, you know, hit my spine and broke off 4 spinal processes. So it went across my spine, you know, and took off 3 of the side processes and 1 coming back. You know, and then there's kind of one up there.
Something cut your kidney almost, right?
So I believe one of these came close to my kidney, you know, and it bruised it. I think because I was peeing blood for a while, and they were thinking maybe, you know, maybe it had damaged it, but it was fine. So now, you know, now that my pelvis is healed, and you know, I'm doing therapy, so I'm trying to build up that leg strength and the lumbar support. But the big sort of issue is just not having that lumbar support in my lower back.
Can you paddle then or no?
So I can paddle, you know, because from here, you know, my lats are fine, and I can paddleboard and I can swim. It's just the, you know, basically here right now that's a big affected area. So sort of, you know, I can paddle. I can't go super hard, but I've only gone twice. You know, and I can cruise around. It's when I walk that I don't have that support, so it's always sort of going like this every step, just a little bit of a, you know, and it's less now than it was before.
So like a gangster rapper.
Yeah. So the fear is sort of that the left side is overcompensating for the right, and that it, you know, could end up giving me scoliosis or something.
Oh.
But let's see. You know, it's better than I thought, and I sort of keep on slowly getting better. So.
I mean, you look great. It's only been a couple months, right?
It's been 3 months, I guess now.
So what were you thinking on the boat ride? Did you think you're gonna die or
Yeah,
what?
no, I don't know if I thought either I'm gonna die or I'm really, really messed up. You know, the thought that I mean, never occurred to me sort of that I'd be like this in a couple months. And you know, I've said it now 100 times and kind of oversaid it, but I really did feel this sort of crazy feeling of love on the boat. You know, that it was like, you know, just when you're thinking these thoughts, like, oh my God, you know, my life is profoundly changed. You know, and I just felt like I, you know, loved everybody on the boat with me, and you know, sort of there was like waves coming out. You know, that like it wasn't exactly my life flashing from my eyes, but more like the people in my life sort of flashing before my eyes. So it was definitely a, you know, profoundly life-changing event.
How come they didn't fly back to Oahu?
We got into the helicopter and they said supposedly if the winds are above, if there's gusts above 30, that they don't want to land at Queens. So they made the decision when I got into the helicopter that I was going to go to Maui. You know, so everybody thought I was going to Oahu, my teammates and everything, because that's what they had said, that I was going to go to Queens. So I went to Maui Memorial. You know, and even Queens is the trauma center of Hawaii. So, you know, people were a little bit bummed that I was at Maui, but Maui ended up being great. You know, the hospital was like empty. Everybody there was great. The nurses were awesome. So, you know, I was happy being in Maui. It was just kind of mellow. It was a nice hospital. You know, I was there for a little less than a week, and then flew home to Kauai, where I've been sort of recovering and now going back and forth between there and here, and working from home there.
So you're full-time back at work though?
I'm full-time working, but 3/4 of the time on Kauai working. You know, a lot of what I do now is on the computer, so I kind of can work from home pretty well.
You gotta make sure you get a good chair.
Yeah. Actually, I lie down. And it's all right. You know, like when I don't move around much during the day, you know, I'm basically kind of all right. And you know, I can those days if I'm not moving much, I can walk without a cane. You know, when I'm walking a lot, I'll start using a cane. But you know, it's good, and I'm swimming as much as I can, you know, like every other day when I can. So
You're one lucky guy, man.
Yeah.